Taylor Yohn is a social media and marketing strategist, and we're going to be talking about some tips in 2024. Taylor, thanks for being here. Yeah, you bet. So I know we're going to dive into the topic at hand with social media, but I guess, why is it even important to talk about this in the first place? Or is social changing? What's sort of the backdrop here?
So the way that we've been experiencing it, when I say we, I work with a lot of brands. I work with a lot of clients who I manage social for and strategize for as well. And I think the biggest trend or biggest shift that we're seeing is that websites are no longer the front door to your brand. I think social media has become such a big shift in how people find you and how people get to know what you're doing, what you offer, what you look like. It's a quick search on any type of social media channel, whether it's TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Those are kind of the big hitters.
Yep.
And people immediately know who you are, what you stand for, and what your culture and personality is like. And so I think it's a big shift in search, but also the way that brands and businesses are presented. And it's no longer I like to have social media. It's you must have social media as a part of your brand strategy.
And is that the case for B2C and B2B?
Absolutely. Yes. And I think it's even more so a little bit harder for B2B because, you're in this world of a lot of B2C when it comes to individualization and consumer based on social media platforms. But also it makes it that much harder for B2C to cut through that noise when you already have these big consumer brands have tons of dollars, dumping into marketing and social strategies with influencers and people getting behind their products. But there's a lot of fun ways that B2B brands can also, cut through that noise and be able to show their authentic selves. So yes, definitely very important.
I think a lot of the people watching this, listening to this are going to be more on the B2B side. But small, big, is this for all sizes?
This is for all sizes.
Okay.
This is definitely some big picture things that you can distill down into your everyday strategy and implement right away. Whether it's, on just your LinkedIn channel that you want to beef up and have more presence, whether it's you're looking to start a TikTok and you don't know where to do it and how to make it happen. Instagram is a huge channel for breaking in for B2B. And then Facebook is also a big one. I mean, I guess Meta in general continues, but I think we'll talk a lot about, the differences of Instagram and Facebook because Facebook is also a huge player for B2B.
How about MySpace? Is that still...
MySpace is starting to make a comeback.
Is it?
MySpace.
Oh, great.
And it's I think those who dabbled in MySpace at the time are still kind of living in those worlds, but Snapchat, MySpace, all those types of things are still lingering. But we're going to talk pretty much about the top four, which are LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Fair enough. Well, I think I probably still have my MySpace page, and I'm scared to even go find it. I don't even know what it is. I don't want to know anymore.
I don't want to see it.
So please don't Google my Matt
don't
Cornelius
look
MySpace.
Us up on MySpace.
Don't do it. You'll see a window of the world in my younger years that I've left in the past for a reason.
Dashboard Confessional is still being played on my
Heck
my
yeah.
MySpace.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I like it. Well, hey, let's dive in then.
Great.
I'm going to let you sort of even lead this a little bit here.
Okay.
We're talking about 4 things, but what's the first?
The first one that I think a lot of people could see this, whether you're just kind of doom scrolling through your own social channels or looking to kind of up your game when it comes to getting more engagement, is something that I'm calling comment corralling.
Cue the whiplash.
Yeah. Rounding up those corrals of all of the people coming to your comments to have like a little bit more of a conversation.
Okay.
And this truly is just an intentional way that brands are creating experiences in real life and real time and are able to actually connect with either their customers or potential people getting involved with their brand while your content, like the post and the caption, is truly taking lead center stage. I think the comments is where you kind of like work the room. It's where you're able to like engage with those people a little bit more, whether they're, commenting because they like something, asking questions, and you're able to like actually engage with them in real time. They
Hey,
love that, and you should love that too, because you have an automatic in to connect with somebody who's interested in what you're posting and sharing about.
if you have more comments on, is this true across like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the platforms? If you have more
All the
comments, you're going to
platforms.
get, I guess maybe not everybody knows this, but your content isn't served to every single person that follows you or
Yes. About
likes you.
10% of your followers will get your content served in their feed. So
Yeah.
that doesn't mean 10% are seeing your content. That means 10% of your followers, your entire follower base, might get your content served up in their feed. So that's a really small number. And I think it's really important, obviously, to hone in on your insights, your best
Yeah.
time of days, and, all those different analytics that you can gather to actually optimize and get in front of the audience that you want to and your followers. But so if you think about that 10%, you have to really think about the quality of the captions and your content and all of those things. But when people do see it, you have another layer of opportunity to get in front of them and actually do things in the comments that not only tricks the algorithm, but you have real time, correspondence and opportunities with potential customers and people who could get more involved with your brand.
And so if you have more comments happening, it grows from that 10%. It starts to show it to
Correct.
a higher percentage.
Correct. Yeah. So there's a couple of ways that brands and businesses can take advantage of this, or even in your personal. It obviously, like I said, starts with the content of your post and your caption. You want to engage users with something interesting, with that like lead hook, whether it's on video or static graphic or image. And then, asking questions and polls. The way that I like to serve up, let's just, again, continue to use Instagram because that's a good channel for B2B. As an example, is, something very engaging in the photo to help stop that scroll. And then at the caption, we want people to have a small, like, quick sentence that has a big hook that allows people to hit that learn or read more button so that it expands your caption. And your caption has some intentional spacing, has some more information about what that post is about. And then, at the end, if they've reached that, which hopefully they do, there's some type of hook or question, and you say, let us know in the comments what you think about this. And there you have a little bit more of an engagement opportunity to get people to actually engage in the comments. You're able to respond. So that's kind of like my cadence of like the perfect post for Instagram.
Can I still say things like smash that like button or crush it in the comments, like we see people do, like influencers used to do that? Is that still cool or is that not cool anymore?
I think you want to be really intentional about, what you want to smash. So I think,
Yeah, that's just life advice, really.
Yeah, that's exactly. Just take that home with you. That's, something to get tattooed
Interpret
on
it in your
arm.
own way, whatever that means
Right.
to you.
So I would recommend, if you really want to kind of boost some type of engagement tool, so like if it's, focusing more on link in bio, or you really want to start some type of, comment corralling or some type of like comment community conversation, I think you're be really intentional about your CTA and what you want that person to do, because pretty much everyone knows they're going to go click the link in the bio to learn more. I mean, ultimately, that's just a general user experience people are used to now. So tailoring your CTA, saying like, let's have a conversation in the comments about this, like kick us off, and start tagging people, or, your post caption continues into the comments to, kind of create and trigger that effect. I think that's really important. Also, if you, saving posts, I think is a really good engagement piece. And you look at your insights and your analytics, because it ultimately means that people are interested in what you have to say and are saving it to potentially look at later. And then ultimately if we're continuing with Instagram, they can hit the notification button on your profile so that every time you get notified that someone is doing something on that account, that user is more interested, more likely to get engaged. So I think you have to be really intentional about your CTAs now, especially if you're looking for more engagement types.
Right. I think you and I have talked about this, but like this, people can see through the clickbaitiness, right? And if you say things like, get all the secrets by clicking the link people are going to shortcut that. They're going to say, somebody's going to post on the comments saying, no, these are the three things. It's and summarize it for people, right?
I'm one of the people who basically would post on or add a comment on a post that says like just here for the comments, because ultimately like if it's that type of post, you immediately will go to the comments to just see what everyone else is saying, because it could just be really entertaining but also really informative, like you were saying, to negate some of that clickbait strategy. I hate to throw them under the bus, but Huffington Post does this all the time. So if you want to see what I'm talking about,
the clickbait thing,
yes, or it's like, this mother of 3, she uses a special formula to, highly get her kids to sleep, that type of thing. And it's usually just like something not that great. But
right.
The first comment will likely always be some comment hero, as I'm calling them, where it says, this is what she talked about, this is what it is. And they have thousands of replies of people liking it and commenting saying like, you're saving our lives, like, thank you so much. However, I will say, while that might stink for the user, Huffington Post is getting so much engagement on their clickbait posts.
I was just going to say, like, did it actually work out for them in the long run? Because they're getting all this crazy engagement.
They might be doing it. I don't know. They might be doing it as a strategy because it is working. The engagement must be insane on those types of posts, whether people are actually clicking to read the article or just hashtag here for the comments, because it's gonna work. Like, I would love to see what their insights look like for those types of posts, because there are just thousands of comments. People like, we hate clickbait, and so who knows? It might be worth testing.
Corralling. That's the first one. What's the second one?
That's number 1. Number 2 is long form video.
Okay.
And I say that in the sense, yes, long form video, non-documentaries. We're not posting documentaries on social media just yet.
What length are we talking about when we say long form? Is it different for every platform, or is there kind of a
different for every
spot?
platform? Yes. And the reason I bring that up is because actually, for example, TikTok is looking to introduce 30-minute posts. So
that's like the opposite of what TikTok's all about. They're all about like, right?
Yes. So I'm not sure if that's just a shift of what they're seeing users want, crave, and do, or if it's something that they're introducing to help generate users to do that more often. But where I foresee this kind of stemming from is, I think doom scrolling is starting to be a thing of the past.
Oh, thank God.
When I mean doom scrolling, I mean the late night just flipping through to just turn off your brain.
It's not good for you.
It's not good for you. It's not good for your thumbs. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for anything. But it's also not good for brands either, because ultimately people who doom scroll, you'll know it's late night, early morning, middle of the night, that type of thing. They're not looking to engage right now. They're just looking to be entertained. But I think people are really starting to value quality content and storytelling. I think people are really starting to get bored of doom scrolling. They're just like over it. They don't want to do it. They want to break habits.
Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy how fast those trends just take a U-turn, right? And it's like one of the things I've seen on Instagram, especially, and this is more than a couple months ago, but was just sort of combining video with static images. So like you'll see this sort of like big headline or big eye-catching image, and the next part of the carousel is like the reel that sort of the video that unpacks that, goes a little bit longer, goes in depth, or sort of like gives you that extra insight. So you're starting to see like not just one or the other, but like you said, these carousels, this sort of longer form, multiple touch points, 3 chapters instead of 1.
Yeah. So I definitely think there's, opportunity for brands who do have content that could be turned into long form content or long form video to start thinking about valuable ways to create those touch points and allow brands and users to develop that relationship. It's definitely more authentic, and people are going to start to enjoy what they're watching instead of being like super passive about it. Because ultimately, if you get less than a second, that's not an impression, that's not being served, quality content in the feed. You're not getting what you are putting all this time and effort into.
Awesome. All right. So that was number 2, long form video.
Yeah.
What's number 3?
Number 3, this is a fun one, and I'm really, really excited because it's very easy for brands and B2B to get involved in this, and that is employees as new influencers. I think long are the days of the influencers who are now basically celebrities, who you've basically seen in and out, that have like had their start on TikTok or had their start on YouTube and are basically racing the Grammy stage or basically jam-packed into Super Bowl ads. They are the most influential people that you now see that have started on social media but have now become so mainstream.
Right.
They're, starting their own companies. They're starting their own brands. So
Right.
I think the likeness of those people are switching gears, and brands are really taking advantage of that, again, personality, storytelling, authenticity, by showcasing the people who are like hitting the ground running and working hard on their brands to make a difference. And the people who are literally behind the scenes, boots on the ground, behind the scenes, pull the curtain away and really understand what the brand is made out of, and showcasing these employees, whether you identify them as brand ambassadors or somebody who just is comfortable in front of the camera, showcasing a new product, a new service, talking about their values and why they love being a part of this brand and working for that company. Those are some really great ways to create intentional touch points with people who want to see that. People want to see good things. I think ultimately people still use social media as a news source for the most part, but for other people, they want to be entertained and they want to feel good on social media, especially when their brands are being authentic. And we're removing the filters. We're removing, all of the fake opportunities that people start to just like obviously can recognize. So I think there's some really great opportunities to put employees as the spotlight to your brand and, have them showcase what they do and what the brand is all about. So people can get more engaged and build that relationship.
Even on the B2B side, you're a manufacturing company, that's a little bit less, we're not talking about like Coca-Cola here. We're talking about something that's a little bit more of a niche, but I see that in like executives, like sharing their story, sharing a success story, sharing sort of like even just their thoughts on leadership, sort of seeing that. I'm seeing that with like sales teams who are out there, like you said, evangelizing the product, showing, having them do storytelling around a success, around a product, or even just around their own customers. I'm seeing that.
Customers would be great. Yeah. Client testimonials and customers. I mean, even like interviewing the forklift guy who's, in the warehouse, just kind of like doing his thing, especially people who have tenure, people who've been there for, years and years and love working for this brand for X, Y, and Z. I mean, it really showcases everything the brand stands for, especially from like an ethical perspective. Like people can really start to like get behind the brand when they understand how you work and who's involved.
So employees as influencers. Number 3. All right. What's number 4? We're doing the top 4. What's number 4?
Top 4, social as a search engine or social search. Say that 10 times.
Social search, social search. I think I could do it.
Oh, I think you could do it.
It's kind of hard, but I think I can.
I have seen this increase for multiple throughout my career, multiple opportunities for people and a lot of my clients taking advantage of this. But I am just saying this now, but I think social media channels have replaced websites. I think it was spoiler.
Yep.
I know, like from the early beginnings, people were like, if you don't have a website, you're nobody. People don't understand what you do, and everyone's on websites and mobile this and all of that. Now, because people are so mobile friendly, and desktop is kind of the between the hours of 9 to 5, but ultimately because people have become so accustomed to looking at things on their mobile devices, social media is just a part of their everyday. Whether it's intertwining your marketing strategy. But ultimately, it's where brands can showcase what they do, and services, what they look like, what they stand for, personality,
Right.
all those things in a very quick way. So I did this like literally just the other day. I was looking up a retail client, and I, instead of went to their website or did a Google search, I went to their Instagram. I was searched for them on Instagram, and I caught myself doing it because I was like, why didn't I just go to their website to like look at what they do and
Well,
what they
this-
offer, and what I went to their Instagram.
Well, experiment
like,
on yourself.
Yes. And you'll catch yourself doing that. Like when you're at a restaurant, I look at their Instagram to see, or their LinkedIn, or whatever it is, to see either the latest food post or
Right.
have their hours changed. I think also, COVID was a huge reason for that too, because, websites became basically obsolete, but people were looking to see who's open. It's real time posting. You're not real time posting
Right.
on your website.
Right.
You're real time posting on social media. So I think that became such a huge opportunity for people to take advantage of search. It's the same way that you use search basically in any browser, but using like keywords to pack your bios, your posts, your comments, as we've talked about. It truly has become another search engine.
That's new. I mean,
Yeah.
we're looking on our social media platforms to find the things that we want to find, not just Googling it.
Correct.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Or Binging it, or DuckDuckGoing it,
Yeah.
or all the
Whatever.
other search engines, whatever search engine you prefer,
Whatever
whichever
floats your
browser
boat.
you prefer.
Well, I'm going to look up, I don't want anybody else to do this, but I'm going to look up myself on MySpace and see what I find. See what kind of
I
search.
am not.
Yeah, maybe it'll
I'm
be.
gonna let that die.
It might be an embarrassing moment. But Taylor, this has been really helpful. This has been awesome. A lot of insights. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you again. I really enjoyed it.
El Fango.